Hello. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. I hope you all had a marvellous Christmas. Rudolph, Satsumas, figgy pudding, Uncle Bob sat in the corner far end. Right, all the stuff that one would expect for Christmas. I hope yours was joyous. It's Boxing Day. It's over. Let's get back to the grindstone. Right, okay, so very important message here for you today from Rachel Cashman. As you can see there on the screen, this was a tweet that I've seen from Rachel that was posted. So let's go quickly through this and give you an idea of what's happening. This is about the PSHE Brighton, which is an organisation that that have been contacted by more families here. These help people who've got families that are going through the trans nonsense and all the gender rubbish. So PSHE Brighton has been contacted by more families. One whose child claims to have received cross-sex hormone prescription locally this week. Now, this was posted on the 23rd by Rachel. So we're talking about the week leading up to Christmas. Socially transitioned at school. Same pattern. Look at this here. This pipeline that has been created. Socially transitioned at school using the council toolkit from Brighton. Then off to All Sorts, which is a nefarious organisations. And then GP on or around 16th birthday, at which point hormones prescribed. Unbelievable. And then Rachel continues, for avoidance of doubt, this pattern of influence and behaviour by adults in schools, charities and the NHS locally breached historical guidelines pre-2024, but is most definitely foul of the Cash Review, NHS England, Commission Policy, Education Gov UK, and KCSIE, which is the safeguarding and safety protocols for schools. And that was published this year. The new update to that was published this year. Rachel then refers to an article in the Telegraph. So let's go straight to that. And we see here that the NHS faces High Court legal fight over cross-sex hormones prescribed to boy. As usual, folks, in the doobries, you'll find the links to all the necessary resources that I'm talking about. If you can buy me a coffee or the usual, please do, or come and join us as a warrior teacher. We're starting in February. Advertising will go up soon. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of you on that. So the father of this 16-year-old wants a judicial review, arguing a Brighton GP's prescription defied Cash Review guidance. The father is bringing legal action against the NHS after his 16-year-old was given cross-sex hormones despite official guidance against their use. The Brighton man is seeking a judicial review in the High Court of the decision by his local GP to prescribe the drugs to his teenage son for gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria. I'm sick of hearing about it. It's fairly obvious, I think, to any of us that are paying attention right now that gender dysphoria is a comorbidity and a nonsense of other things. And the last thing we should be doing is taking that as an indicator for diagnosis, I think. But, This ran counter to the recommendations of the review by Dr. Hilary Cass, the paediatrician. She concluded there was remarkably weak evidence to support the use of cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers. It warned that drugs put children on an affirmative pathway that might change the trajectory of psychosexual and gender identity development. Well, you can't develop a gender identity. That's utter nonsense. There's no such thing. It's just me, though, right? An emergency ban was introduced in May by the Conservative Health Minister, but that was recently made permanent, well, not permanent, but more permanent this month by Wes Streeting. Now, NHS England is at the same time reviewing the use of cross-sex hormones and warned providers to be extremely cautious when considering whether to refer young people under 18. Nobody should be taking them. Certainly not for some made-up diagnosis like gender dysphoria. Cross-sex hormone therapy changes the physical sexual characteristics of a person. Does it? Does it really? I'm not sure it does. I think it's all cosmetic. While puberty blockers delay the onset of puberty by suppressing the release of hormones. Right? Now, apparently this well-being, see what they did there? Clinic acted unlawfully in prescribing the cross-sex drugs, and the NHS Sussex Integrated Care Board was wrong to fund the treatment. So you've got NHS there involved, along with the well-being clinic. Well-being, right. Court documents state that Sam Hall, a GP at Brighton Wellbeing, who I believe is a woman, described, or a woman pretending to be a bloke, just prescribed the cross-sex hormones to child O in October this year, without any diagnostic process compatible with the CAS report, nor NHS England's clinical commissioning policies. Where the hell's the GMC? Don't tell me people haven't told the GMC, because I believe they already have. I believe they already have. I do not understand the GMC. Do they not have the power to immediately go, you stop practicing now while we investigate? Do they not have that power? If not, why not? I'd like to know. What is their culpability in this? There's then a breakdown of what's happening across Europe, but I'll leave you to read that, okay? Charles O's father is now seeking an interim order to prevent any further prescriptions being dispensed. He said, I'm just gobsmacked by this, that we've got the CAS report, we've got the KCS, the Keeping Children Safe in Education, we've got the ban by Wes Streeting, and we've got the investigation that's happening about cross-sex hormones. Why is this father having to do this? Is there no way to stop this permanently? As a family, we've been caring for our son, who has been distressed around his gender dysphoria during the final years in secondary school. He asked the school leadership, the NHS and the children's services of the council to support him and keep him safe while therapists work with him. However, in October this year, we found out that Dr. Sam Hall of Wembley had issued a prescription for powerful medication, blocking male testosterone and adding female estrogen, which impacts on brain development, fertility, and sexual function. This is a 15-year-old boy. You say 15 or 16? I've got no idea knowing, but I'll put money on it's a gay boy. You know why I put money on it's a gay boy? Because 90% of them were, and always have been. This is not a safe treatment for adolescents with gender dysphoria, not compliant with the recommendations of the CAS review, and unlawful. We have therefore requested a judicial review of Dr. Hall's actions. Paul Conraith of Sinclair's Law, who is representing Charles O's father, said, it would appear that Wellbeing in Surgery and that Sussex ICB, which pays for the work, that's the NHS, have been operating in a parallel universe, as if the CAS review and changes in NHS commissioning guidance had not happened. And it's just beyond the pale. It really is. So this sort of opens up lots of questions for me about what next. I don't know whether it does for you, but it certainly does for me. There's a new year coming, right? 2025. God, I've been in this 7 years. There's a new year coming, 2025. And now we still have this. And now we still have nonsense like the clinical trial that's going ahead. So I'm thinking this week really an awful lot about what next. And I think that's a question that probably most of us should be asking ourselves. What next? But I'll leave that to you. All right. There we go. First post-Christmas post. And now you have it. I'll see you later. All right. Let me know your thoughts as usual in the comments. I can't see how, if they won't stop when they're given everything in their profession to stop them, what comes next other than the criminalisation of anything to do with this and the repeal of anything within the NHS and the law that gives the credence to the idea there's such a thing as gender identity, and for that matter, such a thing as gender dysphoria. Go well, people. Bye-bye.